Hello everyone. Welcome back to the World Conflict Monitor channel. Please subscribe to my channel for more deep insights into global military developments. Today's story is one of the most dramatic air combat encounters in the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. The summary is simple but powerful. Ukrainian forces patiently tracked a Russian jet formation, allowed them to enter a predictable strike path, and then unleashed a devastating counterattack that wiped them out almost completely. This event has not only shaken Russia's air operations but also proven how Ukraine's evolving tactics, intelligence, and Western support are rewriting the rules of aerial warfare in Eastern Europe. The exterior of this story begins high above the skies, where Russia has often tried to establish dominance with large jet formations. Moscow believed that mass airpower, flying in intimidating numbers, could overwhelm Ukraine's defenses. The Russian formations, sleek with Su-30s and Su-35s painted in steel-gray camouflage, were visually striking from the outside. Their design is meant to instill fear, showcasing raw aerodynamic beauty paired with brutal weapons capacity. But on the Ukrainian side, the exterior setup was very different. Mobile air defense systems hidden in rural landscapes, anti-air missile batteries camouflaged under netting, and ground operators locked into their radar consoles waiting for the right moment. From the outside, it appeared like a simple imbalance, Russia's massive planes dominating the skies while Ukraine hid below. Yet appearances are deceptive, and Ukraine was about to turn that deception into a lethal advantage. Inside the jets, the story is starkly different. Russian pilots sat in cockpits designed for comfort during long-range sorties, with modernized HUD displays, digital avionics, and limited stealth coatings protecting them from detection. The interior of these Russian machines is built for speed and control, ergonomic seating, helmet-mounted targeting systems, and displays feeding the pilot real-time data on radar and missile locks. By contrast, inside Ukraine's air defense command centers, the interiors are minimalistic, compact, and tense. Operators sit shoulder to shoulder, scanning radar blips, running calculations, and communicating on encrypted networks. The short interior story is that Ukrainian operators were not flying in luxurious cockpits, but instead huddled in small command vans, using brains over brawn, technology over glamour, and timing over sheer numbers. When we look at performance, the Russian jets are, on paper, among the finest in the world. The Su-35, for example, boasts supermaneuverability, thrust vectoring engines, and the ability to fire beyond visual range missiles. Their speed exceeds Mach 2, their radar coverage can track multiple targets, and their payload allows for both air-to-air and air-to-ground missions. However, in this encounter, performance wasn't just about jet specifications, it was about the performance of strategy. Ukraine, with Western-supplied surface-to-air missiles such as NASAMS, Iris-T, and Patriot systems, turned the performance gap upside down. These missile systems can track and intercept fast-moving jets with deadly precision. The Russian jets' performance in agility became irrelevant once they entered the kill zone where missiles were already locked and ready. Ukraine's performance was in patience, precision, and planning, a performance that stunned even their allies watching the operation unfold. Safety features are a telling aspect of this story. Russian jets do include advanced ejection systems, electronic countermeasures, and flares designed to evade missiles. But in this case, those safety features were overwhelmed. Pilots ejected, parachutes were seen across the skies, but the safety net was too thin against coordinated missile strikes. On the Ukrainian side, safety meant something very different. Safety came from concealment, dispersal of systems, and radar deception. By staying hidden and by waiting, Ukraine ensured its operators were protected. Their mobility meant Russian counterstrikes could not pinpoint exact launch sites quickly enough. Safety here was not a built-in feature of a cockpit, but the security of an entire strategy of ambush and defense. The unique selling points of this encounter revolve around the fact that Ukraine demonstrated once again that numerical superiority and advanced hardware are not always decisive. Russia relied on formations, tradition, and show-of-force tactics. Ukraine relied on flexibility, intelligence sharing from Western satellites, and the element of surprise. The unique aspect is that Ukraine has transformed itself into a military force that can take on one of the world's largest air forces using a fraction of the resources. Their selling point to the world is that with the right training, technology, and resolve, smaller nations can resist aggression. For Russia, the uniqueness of this tragedy is bitter. It shows that their heavily invested jet programs, costing billions, can still be dismantled by coordinated, relatively inexpensive defensive systems. When we talk about price, the contrast is even sharper. A single Su-35 jet costs upwards of $85 million, while Su-30s range around $50 million each. Losing a formation of them in one strike means hundreds of millions of dollars erased in minutes. Add to that the cost of pilot training, maintenance, and weapon payloads, and Russia's losses are staggering. Ukraine, on the other hand, fired missiles that, while expensive per unit, Patriot missiles can cost around $3 to $4 million each, still come at a fraction of the price compared to losing a jet worth over 20 times more. The economics of this battle leaned heavily in Ukraine's favor. The price of patience, of timing, and of coordinated strategy was far less than the price Russia paid in pride, equipment, and morale. In conclusion, the Ukrainian ambush against the Russian jet formation was more than just a tactical success, it was a symbolic victory. It showcased how warfare has shifted from brute force displays of airpower to intelligent, data-driven operations. The exterior beauty of Russian jets, their interiors of advanced avionics, their impressive performance specs, and their safety systems, all collapsed when faced with a defense strategy built on concealment, precision, and patience. The unique selling point of Ukraine's strategy is that it levels the playing field against a larger aggressor, while the price Russia paid is not only financial but also psychological. For Ukraine, this event was proof that resilience and innovation can defeat even the most feared air formations in the world. For Russia, it was a harsh reminder that numbers do not guarantee success in modern warfare. The skies over Ukraine are no longer safe for unchecked aggression, and every new sortie carries the shadow of another devastating ambush. This is the story of how Ukraine waited, prepared, and then wiped out a Russian jet formation, changing the dynamics of the air war in ways that will be studied for years to come.